Hello, this is Divine Sunshine, and welcome to Divinely Speaking Unplugged, where we talk about issues that are currently going on, but with a spiritual spin to things. Um, I want to talk about the big thing, which is about Diddy, and so about the truth. I'm seeing a trend that's now going on in the world where people are trying to hide things, but again, the trend is truth is going to prevail. And where we are right now, this time and this year is now pushing us to truly stand in what's true for us in this spiritual community and in the world is going to that, because again we know that we're moving into other dimensions, and these dimensions are now also requiring for us to um, go in it light, as Erica Badu says, pack light. And some of those things that are weighing us down is the untruths, the lies that we're telling ourselves, where we're not really truly being there. Now, when we're talking about P. Diddy, I'm really interested to know as to, I'm seeing a trend with him and R. Kelly, and it's really when you're talking about not to be colorist, but again looking at the African American man's plight, and we're seeing of them in power, and we're seeing how again that being in power could be a drunkenness where it really takes over when you're not ready. And I always remember somebody saying that again, more power, more problems, more issues, or the more money you get, the more magnified your issues become as to it. And so, with two of them, because of their background, because of their family instabilities, and there's missing foundational things with both of them, and I don't know what's deep. I just know, and that's not for me to go into no biography of both of them, but I do know there's some missing pieces there that contributes to them not being able to step into that role of power uh, with ease, and to be able to hold it unless it takes over you. When you're talking about being in a position or role like that, things change. Well, so if it ain't just your address, um, your bank account, your numbers, the people that are around you, that you're surrounding as well. You kind of find yourself attracting people who are more false, more telling you what you want to hear than the people that tell you the truth. You kind of get rid of those after a while, because again, you like, I'm up here, I made it, you didn't. And like they say, I read the quote they were saying, it's very good that you have people who are more intelligent around you, because that helps you out. And they're not a threat. And sometimes in those roles, you start getting up there and you're finding people who's more intelligent, and you're like, I don't know if I can trust you. I'm gonna go get this yes man or this hype man to be a part of my entourage, and they're not really having your best um, thing at heart. Think about like Wendy Williams, like they saying all these people around her, and it's helping to her demise and her downfall. Um, and that could be another person that's saying that you kind of get up there at a certain point in high, and you've got to stay grounded. And when I look at both of them, it's like here are two talented people with a God-given gift in music, R. Kelly and P. Diddy, and here they are allowing for the ego, that shadow, to take over. And like I said, our purpose here on this earth is again to give that shadow a consciousness that, hey, when it comes out, I don't want to hear it. Or my little, like they say, P. Diddy, I watched this saying that he's got a little rage, or he's got a little kind of like temper, that again that comes out. Hey, I gotta learn how to check that. Okay, here my temper, let me go sit down, let me say, hey, let me take a time out from talking to the executives. I'm gonna kind of go in my room, close, and give me about 5 minutes to get myself together and to come out. I know that even myself, with being in a role of leadership, you can't allow your shadows or what's going on, you be a vampire to others and you sucking their energy because of your unhealedness and your distortion. You have to watch that. Because again, you can't get drunk with power. You can't be drunk with the, oh, this is going, people are listening to me, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And oh my God, I say this person jump, or I do this and they do this, you know. And you have to, again, like I say, you consciously every day have to, again, give it a conscious, give it a be mindfulness on that. Especially if you're coming from a point that in your childhood that you felt abandoned, you weren't listened to, you felt disempowered. Those are things in which you'll take that opportunity to say, ooh, I can get my justice. You can call that justice card out. And you have to watch that to say, hey, this is not how I'm getting justice. I'm not going to let somebody else be a footstool. And in the case of P. Diddy, in the case of also R. Kelly, those two things happen. Women already had a bad point of view with R. Kelly with that, and seeing that, hey, okay, when I see women, although he valued his mother, when she passed away, he was, very hurt about that. But then at the same time, here you are, you again, golden showering and doing everything else to women, devaluing them, that says it's the opposite. So it's like, yeah, we have to remember him. He also was violated as a child. So my thing is that when you're coming from that place of that hurt and distortion and not unhealedness, you coming into leadership, that's going to be magnified times to the millionth power. And you have got to, again, have that come to Jesus moment with yourself to say, hey, okay, I feel it coming out. I'm feeling that little Seymour moment from the Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me. Why you keep on telling me how great I am, and I'm bowing down, I'm getting all these type of women that look cute and they fine and everybody want them, they got them on their wall, look, I'm the one to have it. And this keeps on feeding this ego, and it starts to edge God out. At the same time, we have to remember that, again, this is a side effect or a byproduct of being a person who's empowered. That's going to happen. You've got to truly have some people around you that kind of check you, and I've seen that happen with people big time, that it has. And he claiming, I'm put out there, even Steve Harvey, he even said it himself, that um, he has now this on the outside, I can say, again, she keeps him grounded. He don't know where she would be if she wasn't there. You've got to have somebody grounded, because again, Steve Harvey, well, I met Steve Harvey in person, and back in the day before he had gotten so-called did the evolution of Steve Harvey where he is there, and he was interesting. He had a nice little mouth on him, as well, and he had no problem telling you the truth on things about how he did, and then his 22 cents on stuff that you looking at him say, I didn't ask for it, but I see you dishing it out for free today. That's involuntarily. I didn't ask for that. And I've been on the end of that, as well. And however, now he's stating again that his wife now helps to ground him. You got to keep, if I'm saying anybody is thinking about getting into that position of power, you must keep some things, people, persons, and things in your surroundings that's going to keep you grounded at all times, because that leadership can make you drunk with that power, and you can find yourself going all the way into deeper into your shadow, deeper into your ego, especially if you have not healed those areas. So when we're talking about leadership and going up there, I would say one thing, if that is, again, and you want to be an empowerment or a powerful or impactful leader, is make sure that you have healed as much as possible, that you are not too, that you are not ignoring, or what's going on with you, or in denial about what are some of your shortcomings, or what some of your shadows that you still have to work with. And again, see it, acknowledge it, and say, I will deal with it. Not sweep it underneath the rug and let it be somebody else's problem to deal with as well. That's another thing. Again, take accountabilities. Third thing is again, walk in your knowledge of knowing that, hey, and embrace it. That's three. Embrace that you understand that, hey, I've got this shadow, I got this aspect of me that can pop out any moment. And at the same time, I need to learn how to embrace it, because sometimes those bad things, those negative things, can be used for good. You just got to learn how to do that. Okay, when I'm triggered and I'm getting this angry here, that means I feel this injustice. Something that this person has done is not right. Okay, there needs to be another way that I can be able to address this with this person, to let them know that, hey, what direction we going with right now in this meeting, or what's been said, has need to change, because I can tell it's not going to be a win-win for me, and it's not going to be a win-win for you, and it's not benefiting me, and that's why I'm getting so angry at this time. Okay, there's nothing bad, but when you feel that coming up, there's a trigger in the morning to you to saying, hey, we need to address this. Something is truly not wrong if it's hitting me in that place in my core. Okay, so don't ignore it, but embrace it and say, hey, this is truly a red flag that I'm seeing that's not going to be beneficial for my organization or even for me as a leader. Okay, so that's another thing that I would say about that. And have gratitude for where you are, that you know you are seeing these things and you are willing to make these changes. I think that's another thing that we need to kind of keep in mind as leaders that are growing, that are truly evolving, that are trying to make an impact or change the world, and those things, rather through music or whatever genre area, that we have to remember that, to be grateful that we are on this journey, that we choose. We're in a position where many have not chosen to do. Many have seen it, say, I wish I could do it, they back down. But we were the one that's answered the call to say, hey, I'll step out there, be on the front lines, get the hits first, and then do that. So be grateful and thankful to yourself that you have made that decision to be able to do that. And then last thing I would say is to be able to just, again, rest in that. When we're talking about that, rest and learn how to push, but then know how to push and coast. What is that? Kick, push, and coast. Know when it's time to coast. Know when it's okay, that's enough. Well, I done said what I said. I ain't got to keep on hitting on it, doing this, because it's really nothing else for me. It's beating like a dead horse. And I don't need to continuously kind of drive home this point that I'm trying to make with these people about in my leadership. You know, let it stand for yourself again, because again, sometimes when we're doing that, that's a lot of times that's where our hurt, our unhealedness is coming out. Again, we're not trusting and allowing that breathable, allowing other people to show up the way we want to do, allowing them to show up in their best version of themselves, to answer the call, to rise to the occasion. You know, us trying to do it all. Like I said, that's again is another way. But that's just something that just came to me about just the leadership and what's going on. Behind that, I'm not addressing about what's going on with the Cassie incident and everything like that, because that's all falls underneath the umbrella of unhealedness, being hurt, and that's something that, again, like I said, if you're not going to be a leader that's going to deal with, and I've dealt with a lot of leaders that I'm saying you still got some unhealedness stuff, then again, we know it is going to exist. None of us are divine. We're trying to get there to be divine. To err to be human, to acknowledge it is to be divine. And that's where we want to be. Understanding that when we're talking about that being in leadership, we have got to acknowledge those shortcomings. And when you're not doing that, you're not doing nothing but an injustice to yourself, but you're doing a big injustice to your company as well, when you're not taking a blind eye and you're not acknowledging that. And if you're not that type of leader that can be okay with being vulnerable, saying, hey, I'm wrong, I got to do this. Not coming up with no statements, lying, no, you did X, Y, and Z, and paying off people because you don't want nobody to know the monster that lives in the closet. Then I would say you might not think about being a leader, okay, at this point. Because again, eventually, like I said, the truth is going to come out no matter how you try to hide it. And like I said, right now, the energies in the universe are saturated with that. That hey, are you living your truth? Are you standing in your truth? Are you saying the truth? Well, guess what? If you ain't gonna do it, guess what? We're gonna bring it out. And this is the way the universe is doing right now, because we got to pack light. We got to get lighter. We got to get into that next dimension. And if you're doing that, any of these lying, these things is not being true about yourself, that you lie to yourself, is I'm all right. And it's being said, I don't think so. You're not. Uh, Now I'm going to start bringing it out to the world that, hey, yeah, you hit people. You're abusive. Doing a lot of stuff, sex ring, doing all this operative, all those things in the sideline. So you might not be doing it distinct of what Puffy and R. Kelly are doing, but at the same time, Spirit is saying again, what are you doing that is kind of abusive? Let's not bring in those unhealed parts and shove it up on everybody else. And if you do, and it comes out, be able to apologize, say, hey, you know what? Not a good day. That kid's a trigger for me. Let's try it again. I apologize if you don't want them to know all your business. I apologize. Let me take a 5 and let me come back to that again, because you know that hit something. Something's not right, and maybe tomorrow I'll be open and ready to talk to it and have words to put behind that. But this is not where we are in this universe. The universe is asking for truth. The universe is asking for us to be truthful to ourselves, truthful to the people around us, and just practice truth in what we're doing. To really step into true love and this coming together. All right, then, as always, thank you. Make sure you hit the notification button for this channel. And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, and Namago. Love you. Till next time.